My son can be a bit of a plonker. Last week he put his jeans in the washing machine without checking the pockets first. And guess what was in one of his pockets? His phone. Fortunately, just in the nick of time, which means just in at the last minute, just in time, I stepped in and rescued his phone. I saved the day, basically. Nonetheless, my son can be an absolute plonker sometimes. Now, if you grew up in the UK, the chances are that you've come across the word plonker multiple times. You've probably been called one by your mum. If, however, you're a non-native speaker of English, I doubt very much that you have been taught the word plonker from textbooks or in a classroom. And I don't know why not, because it's actually an incredibly useful word. In British English, we have lots of silly, creative, and strangely specific words to insult people, but to insult them in a way that's more funny than offensive. These are the kinds of words that we use with people that we love. We use them affectionately. I think it's one of the quirks of British humour that we can insult somebody and still sound very affectionate. So in today's video, I'm going to share some of my absolute favourite British English insults. These insults are warm and playful and not offensive if you use them the right way. But here's the golden rule: tone, context, and a little bit of a twinkle in your eye make all the difference here. So just to reiterate, these are words that I use with my family, with my friends, and especially with my kids, not in an important business meeting, or to strangers, or to a random person in the supermarket. Like I said, they're affectionate insults. So let's go back to plonker. Plonker is a word that I came across in a British TV show called Only Fools and Horses, which is about it's about a family, but particularly two brothers, one who is very enterprising and the other who is a little bit dopey and not the brightest person in the world. And the entrepreneur brother often calls his brother Rodney a plonker.
You stupid little plonker, Rodney!
This TV show was massive here, especially when I was growing up. And the word plonker, I think, became part of the language partly through this TV show. Another insult that originally comes from a TV show is Muppet. Now, Muppets, you might already know this, but they were very popular puppets that were used in a TV show back in the 70s and 80s. I think they were created by a man called Jim Henson. And yeah, they were puppets. I'll find a picture of one and put it here. So when you call somebody a Muppet, you're implying that they're a bit of a fool or slightly incompetent. So I could have said to my son, "Oh, Louis, you're such a Muppet. Next time, make sure you check your pockets." But I didn't, because I like the word plonker. Think of somebody you know who is a little bit of a Muppet. Often in British politicians get called Muppets. I think Boris Johnson certainly got called this a few times. Swiftly moving on to Doughnut. Yeah, one of those little pastries with a hole in the middle. If you call somebody an absolute donut, it's a fun way of calling them an idiot. Note this word absolute, you can put in front of any of these words to really sort of emphasise just how stupid that person is. You absolute plonker, you absolute Muppet, you absolute donut, or you complete donut, you utter donut. Next up on my long list of British English insults that aren't actually swear words is Numpty. Now, I think Numpty comes from Scotland originally, but you can use it anywhere. And I use this word to describe myself quite a lot. If I do something foolish, I'll call myself a numpty. I went out for dinner with my friends last night and I forgot to take my keys. What a complete numpty. It's quite nice to say numpty. Have I introduced you to my dog, Milo? He's not here at the moment. He's at the vet's because the silly Twit got a grass seed stuck in his paw. So yeah, Milo is a bit of a daft Twit. He's a lovely dog. He's like a big teddy bear and he's very affectionate and sweet. But he isn't the most intelligent dog. He's a bit of a Twit. And I do call him a Twit sometimes to his face. I don't think he takes offence. I like the word twit. Again, it's quite pleasing to say. There is actually a children's book written by an author called Roald Dahl, who I love. And I read all his books to my kids when they were little. But he wrote a book called The Twits. So if you want to find out more about twits, you know where to look. In the comments, I'd love to hear all about the words that you use in your language to gently insult the people that you love the most. Or if you can think of a word that I've missed out, nothing too offensive, please, then add it in the comments and I'll take a look. Now is a good time to remind you that if you want to practice your English speaking skills, even if you want to practice gently insulting somebody, you can book a conversation class with me. I'll put all the information in the description below. And finally, if you head over to my website, you'll find a transcript that you can download of today's lesson. If you found today's video useful, then please subscribe. It really, really helps me out, and give me a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care for now, you numpties. I just quickly popped back again to remind you that I have a website, and on my website you can book an English conversation class with me, or you can go through all my blog posts, which are individual English lessons. I'm pretty much updating it every day at the moment, so there's lots of English learning content on there. Also, if you found today's English video useful, then you might enjoy a playlist that I made, which is Practice Speaking English Like a Brit. And in there, I focus on all my British English content. Lots of very British English phrases, and also looking at some of British mannerisms and some British culture. Finally, before I go, I just thought you might want to check in with Milo, who was at the vet's yesterday when I recorded the video. He's back. Milo, would you like to say something?